it up, what is sales 2.0, right? We started off with sales 1.0, and you know, like we've talked about, me as a sales guy, this is what I'm good at, right? I'm good talking to the opportunities. I like talking to people. I like talking about what things we can solve that they have, the pain points. I like listening to them. That's what I like doing. But you know, I'm not dumb, and I realize that I should probably also be finding some leads, because you know, if I just stay down here all the time, I'm going to be in trouble. And then we start to get into this issue today. I mean, we're talking about a lot of stuff to do here. I mean, SEM, SEO, blogs, social media, PR, email nurturing. I mean, for crying out loud, I'm supposed to be talking to people here. And it was okay when I just had to call a few extra people, but now you're giving me all this stuff to do? Wow. It turns out that that's actually where our marketing friends come in, and that's actually what the point of the conference was to talk about sales and marketing. So, you know, if I bring marketing in, all of a sudden now, this doesn't look so difficult anymore. I mean, I can concentrate on opportunities, and I can even do some of the lead nurturing and talk around that, but you know, someone's got my back here. We're working as a team. We know that we're covering the leads. We know we're out there. We know we're talking to customers, so that when I get them on the phone, it's not just this awkward, they've already been through 70% of the process, and they just need a couple things from me, and they'll be on their way. No, you know, I'm getting to people who we've told them everything they wanted to know. It's the greatest place to be. And
so the challenge here is that here you are, a little company, and you have to do this enormous amount of stuff. And so this is the challenge for you guys as CEOs. Think about what you got to do. Yeah, you got to do inside sales and sales management, enterprise sales, but you got to do strategic marketing. You got to put your positioning, your branding, your messaging framework, copywriting, editing, design, web development, SEO, SEM, PR, email marketing, social media. You know, this is a lot of stuff. And you know what? You got to do all this. That's what you got to do. You're a small company, you just have to figure out a way to do all of this, and that's the challenge. And it's not easy. So how do you do that? Well, if you're lucky, you find a few people who are really broad and can kind of wear a lot of hats, and some people are good at that. And you'll be great to find those. Maybe you raise $8 million from your friends over at Seaplane, in which case you just hire a bunch of people. That's kind of .com era, and that's what we used to do. Or what you do, you work with a company like Atlas, and we kind of pull in a lot of different people, or you go out and find your own network of specialists who are good at all these people, and you kind of bring them in to create your own kind of virtual team. But you've got to figure out a way to do all this. You don't have to do all of it right away, but you need to start working your way towards this. And so this is really kind of the lesson of Web 2.0, and really what we're trying to do with a lot of our companies.
And so, you know, this gets you to a point of, and this was what was so exciting and really resonated with me with this conference, is that it's really about building the sales team of the future, right? Salesperson 2.0, where, you know, not only are they in color now, which isn't they're happy because they're being supported, they're doing what they do best, right? They're talking to customers who want to buy, and they're walking them through that process. They're no longer having to worry that none of this is being done, or they're no longer having to slave over a million different calls to make it look good. You know, they'll find someone who just happens to be their target customer. And so, you know, really the takeaway here is really, I tried to bubble it down into 5 points. And this is what I walked away from the conference really jazzed about, is thinking about this and thinking about, you know what, for us, startup companies, these lessons apply. You know, marketing isn't a luxury. You know, you got to be doing something here. You can't just rely on the salesperson making a bunch of calls. It's just, you got to be doing something here. And if you're not selling before you're on the phone, your customers are learning everything they know about your industry, about the problems that you solve from someone else. Guess what? They're never going to buy your product. They're going to buy those other guys' products. They're just talking to you because they have to check off the list that says, you know, I talked to 3 different vendors. And third, and I think this really applies to us, you know, there's technology out there. There's a lot of different platforms, whether it's lead nurturing platforms, whether it's email service providers, you know what, are pretty affordable these days. And you know what, they really help out. And so it's not like you have to go out and hire quite as many people as Ross was talking about, but look at the technology and don't be afraid to jump into it. And then, you know, think about what you're doing. Use the data, think about it, quit feeling good about your meetings and things like that, and start saying what you actually did. And start using that web analytics to determine where people are falling off on your site and stuff. You know what? Most of us should have a website, and most of us should know how that website's effectively selling for us, because that's the biggest part of the sales process. And then lastly, and you know, if you haven't walked away with anything valuable, I wonder why, but the 5th thing is just think sales and marketing, right? I mean, that's the key. It's sales and marketing. You got to have both. You got to start thinking about it, and you got to start doing it today. So that's what we have today.
And that's it.